This is the Sleep Historian. Each night we explore the echoes of the past, stories told slowly to calm the mind and ease you towards sleep. If you enjoy these quiet journeys through time, please like and subscribe, and let the next story begin. Morning light eases across a canopy of dense tropical forest. Mist gathers in hollows between towering ceiba trees, softening the edges of leaves and branches. Beneath the greenery lies stone, plazas, pyramids, and stairways, once shaped by careful hands. The warmth of the air carries faint sounds of birds and insects, but no human movement disturbs the calm. You pause at the edge of a clearing, sensing depth in the stillness. Time feels layered, as if memories linger just below the surface. A civilization once thrived here, leaving traces that invite quiet curiosity and contemplation. As the forest brightens, more details emerge. Vines trace straight lines across weathered walls. A collapsed temple staircase reflects the glow of dawn, each step worn by long-vanished footsteps. These ruins once stood within lively cities filled with markets, rituals, and skilled artisans. The Maya built a world rooted in astronomy, artistry, and community. Today, silence surrounds their achievements. The contrast raises a lingering question that echoes across centuries. How did these vibrant urban centers become quiet and abandoned? The mystery invites a journey through time, searching for clues in history, landscape, and human experience. Around 2000 BCE, early Maya settlements take shape near rivers and fertile lowlands. Small homes built of wood and thatch circle open courtyards. Families cultivate maize, beans, and squash in nearby fields, tending crops with stone tools. Smoke drifts gently from cooking hearths as cornmeal is ground by steady hands. Shells, obsidian, and jade move along forest paths through simple trade. Life is modest but organized, guided by the rhythms of planting and gathering. These early communities establish foundations of agriculture, cooperation, and belief that will support the rise of larger, more complex cities in the centuries ahead. Over time, villages evolve into ceremonial centers. Wooden structures give way to stone platforms as construction methods advance. Workers lift limestone blocks into place under the watchful eye of priests who observe celestial patterns. Incense rises in curling trails during rituals that bless new foundations. Children carry painted jars of water through dusty courtyards. These early centers become hubs of belief and governance, connecting people through shared ceremonies. Architecture reflects a growing understanding of space and meaning. Cities begin to symbolize harmony between earth and sky, hinting at the sophisticated civilization that will soon emerge in the region. By 250 CE, the Classic period begins, and cities such as Tikal, Palenque, Copan, and Calakmul flourish. Plazas fill with footsteps, voices, and commerce. Tall pyramids rise above the treetops, catching sunlight along their steep stone faces. Traders unroll bundles of cacao, feathers, and salt onto woven mats. Scribes carve glyphs into stelae, recording names, dates, and events. Reservoirs and canals secure water supplies. The atmosphere feels purposeful and lively. These cities become centers of culture, politics, and science, showcasing the Maya's growing mastery of architecture, writing, and organization. The civilization moves confidently toward its peak. Royal courts shape political life. In shaded palace chambers, rulers sit on carved stone thrones, adorned with feathered headdresses. Advisors speak in calm, measured tones, discussing alliances and rivalries with neighboring cities. Messengers arrive carrying gifts and news wrapped in cloth bundles. A scribe records decisions, dipping a brush into red pigment. Leadership draws authority from lineage and ritual, connecting rulers to divine ancestry. Power brings unity and direction, yet also concentrates responsibility. The strength of a city becomes tied to its leader's stability, introducing a subtle vulnerability beneath the grandeur of royal ceremony and controlled governance. Religion permeates daily existence. In torchlit temple corridors, priests consult codices painted with red and black symbols. Outside, worshippers gather for ceremonies timed to lunar and solar cycles. Smoke from burning copal drifts into the air, accompanied by rhythmic chanting. Offerings of maize, jade, and feathers are placed carefully upon altars. The Maya view the universe as interconnected, with human actions influencing cosmic balance. Rituals guide agriculture, politics, and social order. This shared belief system provides structure and meaning, linking communities to each other and to the celestial forces they believe shape their world's harmony and continuity. Astronomy becomes a pillar of Maya knowledge. On clear nights, observers watch stars and planets from elevated platforms, noting their movements against the dark sky. A carved notch in stone aligns with the rising sun on solstices, confirming seasonal changes. Charts record cycles with remarkable precision. These calculations guide planting times, ceremonies, and leadership decisions. The accuracy of predictions reinforces trust in religious authority and scientific skill. The quiet night sky serves as both calendar and compass, deepening the Maya's connection to the rhythms of nature. Knowledge becomes a stabilizing force, linking observation with practical survival. Mathematics and writing flourish. A scribe practices glyphs on plaster, smoothing the surface carefully before marking each symbol. The Maya develop a sophisticated writing system and a base 20 numerical structure that includes the concept of zero. Bach paper codices store records of history, astronomy, and ritual practice. Each stroke preserves memory, linking past and future. Knowledge becomes portable, allowing ideas to travel across generations and regions. Writing strengthens identity and governance, enabling rulers to legitimize power through recorded lineage. The intellectual foundations of the civilization grow deeper, supporting the expanding complexity of societal and cultural life. Trade networks extend across vast distances. At dawn, canoes glide along rivers carrying obsidian blades, jade ornaments, and cacao beans. Porters follow forest paths with bundles tied in woven fiber. Markets in bustling plazas bring together goods from highlands, lowlands, and coastal regions. The gentle hum of conversation fills the air as negotiations unfold. These exchanges support economic growth and cultural exchange, linking cities in a web of mutual benefit. The Maya world feels connected and expansive, its lifelines stretching across hundreds of miles. Prosperity creates confidence, a sense of momentum guiding the civilization forward. Architecture reaches new heights. In sunlit quarries, workers shape limestone blocks, tapping chisels in steady rhythms. Massive pyramids rise tier by tier, aligning with cardinal directions. Broad plazas provide gathering spaces for ceremonies and markets. Carved inscriptions commemorate rulers and achievements. These monumental structures reflect ambition, organization, and spiritual belief. Cities become symbols of power, their silhouettes visible above the forest canopy. The scale inspires awe and reinforces authority. Architecture serves as both functional space and cosmic statement, grounding the Maya's identity in stone. The civilization stands at its architectural peak, confident in its mastery of design. Agriculture sustains expanding populations. Terraced fields climb hillsides, their edges bright under midday sun. Farmers plant maize in careful rows, monitoring soil and weather patterns. Irrigation canals funnel water from streams and reservoirs. A farmer kneels, pressing soil between fingers to test moisture. Harvests fill granaries, supporting tens of thousands of people. Yet dependence on intensive cultivation introduces vulnerability. As cities grow, they require more food, tightening the connection between environmental stability and societal strength. The balance becomes delicate, revealing potential strain if conditions shift. Growth brings prosperity, but also the seeds of future challenge. Water management becomes essential to survival. In lowland cities, reservoirs collect rainfall for dry seasons. Workers smooth clay along canal walls to prevent seepage. A child peers into a cistern, watching sunlight ripple across its surface. During drought, these systems offer relief, sustaining households and rituals. Maintenance demands continuous effort. Sediment builds, walls erode, and channels clog. When water systems falter, communities feel the strain immediately. The intricate relationship between human engineering and natural forces becomes clear. Water becomes both lifeline and vulnerability, shaping the daily reality of a growing civilization under environmental pressure. Population density increases. Homes cluster along narrow streets, their white plaster walls bright in the sun. Families grind maize, weave textiles, and share meals in shared courtyards. Children play with clay figurines, laughter echoing through alleys. These crowded environments add vibrancy, but also pressure. More people require more food, fuel, and space. Forests recede around cities as trees are cut for construction and firewood. Environmental shifts occur quietly, like subtle warnings. While daily routines continue, the balance between resource use and renewal becomes harder to maintain, hinting at deeper challenges waiting beneath the surface. Rivalries intensify among city-states. In council chambers, leaders discuss alliances and threats with careful tones. Messengers arrive bearing news of disputes over territory or trade routes. Armies march along forest paths, their footsteps muffled by leaves. Battles, though often brief, disrupt agriculture and commerce. Political trust erodes, replaced by suspicion and competition. Conflict introduces uncertainty into a world that once felt stable and interconnected. The strain of rivalry diverts resources away from infrastructure and community needs. Tensions simmer beneath everyday life, altering relationships between cities and creating fractures in regional unity. Environmental pressures mount gradually. Fields once fertile show signs of exhaustion after repeated planting. Farmers notice shrinking yields and changing rainfall patterns. A dry wind rustles wilted stalks as clouds fail to gather. Reservoirs lower, exposing muddy banks and cracked earth. Forests continue to retreat from city edges. These changes unfold slowly, almost imperceptibly, but their cumulative impact grows significant. Food scarcity begins to challenge communities, reshaping routines and choices. The delicate equilibrium between society and nature starts to shift, revealing the fragility of systems that once supported growth and prosperity. Social strain becomes visible. Market stalls display fewer goods. Traders arrive less frequently, carrying lighter loads. Families share smaller portions at meals, conserving dwindling supplies. People gather near reservoirs, watching water levels with anxious eyes. Conversations soften, reflecting shared concern. Rituals persist, offering comfort and structure, but unease lingers beneath ceremony. Leadership faces increased pressure to resolve shortages and restore stability. The systems that once supported confidence feel unsteady. The societal fabric stretches thin, signaling deeper challenges approaching. Quiet tension settles across cities, marking a subtle shift in collective mood and expectation. Cities remain impressive, yet vulnerability deepens. At sunset, long shadows stretch across towering pyramids. Fading light highlights carved stone faces, their expressions frozen in timeless stillness. Plazas that once held bustling crowds seem quieter now. Beneath grandeur lies fragility, environmental stress, political conflict, and resource strain accumulate. The contrast between monumental architecture and hidden instability grows sharper. Though life continues with familiar rhythms, the foundation feels less secure. The civilization stands at a threshold, balancing between the height of its achievements and the gradual emergence of pressures that will shape its future trajectory. By the 9th century, drought intensifies in parts of the lowlands. Rainfall diminishes noticeably. Reservoirs shrink, revealing cracked clay bottoms. Crops fail more frequently. A farmer kneels in a dry field, holding a sparse cob of maize, its kernels pale and few. Hunger becomes more common. Families stretch rations, relying on stored reserves. Environmental stress magnifies existing vulnerabilities. Populations press against the limits of available resources. The land, once dependable, becomes unpredictable. This shift marks a turning point, altering the stability that had supported Maya cities for generations and prompting difficult decisions about survival. Internal conflicts escalate. In council chambers, debates grow heated as leaders argue over dwindling supplies and contested territories. Decisions become harder. Reports from distant cities describe unrest and upheaval. Armies mobilize more frequently, casting long shadows over fields and roads. Battles drain manpower and disrupt farming further. The cost of conflict intensifies both materially and emotionally. Trust erodes between regions. The unity that once linked cities weakens. Tensions move from subtle to visible, reflected in guarded expressions and cautious interactions. The political landscape becomes fractured, adding new layers of strain to an already fragile system. Political fragmentation deepens. Alliances dissolve as cities prioritize their own survival. In a dim palace, a ruler studies a map marked with shifting borders. His hand rests tensely on the table. Decisions must be made quickly. yet information feels incomplete. Fear of invasion or resource loss shapes strategy. Communication falters between regions. The network that once supported trade and cultural exchange unravels. Isolation increases, leaving individual cities more vulnerable to environmental and social pressures. The broad cohesion of the Maya world dissolves into scattered uncertainties, reshaping the political fabric of the region. Migration begins slowly. Families pack belongings, clay pots, woven blankets, cherished heirlooms, preparing to leave homes near failing fields. Forest paths become routes of movement rather than trade. Footsteps echo softly among fallen leaves. Entire communities seek more reliable water sources or safer territories. Cities lose population gradually, not abruptly. Empty homes stand silent, doorways open to wind and rain. The steady departure transforms the soundscape. Bustling plazas grow quiet. The shift feels eerie, a quiet fading rather than collapse. The movement reflects adaptation, a search for stability amid growing hardship and uncertainty. Rituals adapt to uncertainty. In a temple courtyard, priests light incense, sending fragrant smoke toward a cloudless sky. Prayers request rain, guidance, and renewal. Participants kneel, faces calm but weary. Ceremonies grow more frequent, mirroring collective concern. Faith remains strong, yet outcomes are unpredictable. When rains fail to appear, doubt deepens. The spiritual framework that once provided reassurance now carries heavier emotional weight. Belief offers comfort, but also underscores the limits of human control. The balance between hope and reality becomes delicate, reflecting the shifting relationship between people and their changing environment. Art and writing continue, but themes shift. Scribes record events emphasizing conflict, upheaval, and resilience. In a workshop, an artisan carves an image of a ruler engaged in ritual warfare. His tools scrape softly against stone. The mood feels somber, reflecting societal strain. Creativity persists, but the content mirrors a world grappling with change. The artwork becomes documentation, capturing emotional and historical responses to decline. Each piece adds to a visual record of transition, revealing how people understood their circumstances. Through expression, the Maya preserve experiences that might otherwise fade with time and memory. Trade networks stall. Plazas once filled with merchants grow sparse. Goods from distant regions become rare. A lone trader sits beside baskets of cacao, waiting with fewer buyers approaching. Roads fall into disuse, overgrown with vines and fallen branches. Economic isolation deepens resource shortages. Cities lose access to essential materials like obsidian and salt. The interconnected system that once sustained prosperity frays. The silence of empty marketplaces mirrors broader decline, marking a shift from vibrant exchange to subdued survival. The change feels gradual but unmistakable, altering the economic heartbeat of the civilization. Leadership struggles to respond. In a fading council hall, torches flicker against worn walls. Advisors speak cautiously, proposing measures to conserve resources or negotiate peace. Solutions feel limited. The complexity of challenges, environmental stress, conflict, migration, overwhelms traditional governance structures. Decisions lag behind needs. Authority weakens. People turn toward family and local leaders rather than distant rulers. The centralized power that once unified regions erodes. The collective identity of the Maya world fragments, leaving isolated pockets of resilience amid widespread difficulty. The sense of shared purpose becomes harder to maintain. By the late 9th century, many southern lowland cities lie nearly empty. Forests reclaim plazas and temples. Roots push through stone walls. In Tikal, tall pyramids rise above treetops, their steps covered in moss. Birds nest where banners once hung. The absence of human voices feels profound. Nature envelops architecture, softening lines that once conveyed power. The transformation unfolds gradually, without a single catastrophic moment. Silence becomes the defining presence, marking a shift from bustling civilization to quiet ruin. Time and environment shape this new landscape, replacing urban life with dense, encroaching forest. Daily life shifts to smaller, more sustainable communities. People move toward regions with reliable water or fertile soil. In a modest village, families tend maize fields near a stream. Homes built of wood and thatch cluster around communal spaces. Conversations around evening fires focus on weather, harvests, and safety. The grandeur of former cities becomes distant memory. Life continues, but on a reduced scale. The change reflects adaptation rather than disappearance. The Maya spirit endures through practical resilience, reshaping itself in response to new conditions and environments. Some regions maintain urban centers longer. Chichen Itza rises as a major site, blending new influences with traditional practices. Pilgrims gather in broad plazas for ceremonies. The sound of drums reverberates through towering structures. Markets bustle with activity, offering goods from distant areas. Chichen Itza represents continuity amid decline elsewhere, illustrating that the Maya world did not vanish uniformly. The civilization evolves, shifting its centers of power. While some cities fade into silence, others thrive, demonstrating a complex and varied response to changing circumstances across the broader region. The northern lowlands experience relative stability. In Uxmal, intricate stone mosaics decorate palace walls, catching sunlight in delicate patterns. Workers sweep courtyards and repair steps. The atmosphere conveys cautious perseverance. Water systems and agricultural practices adapt to local conditions. Populations remain engaged in trade and ritual. The decline is uneven, creating a mosaic of outcomes. Some areas flourishing, others abandoned. This variation highlights the diversity within the Maya world, reminding us that its history is multifaceted. The narrative is not singular collapse, but a spectrum of experiences shaped by geography and resource availability. The idea of sudden disappearance becomes a misconception. The process unfolds over generations. In a quiet home, an elder shares stories of distant cities once filled with splendor. Children listen, imagining pyramids and bustling plazas. These memories preserve identity, even as physical structures fade. The Maya people continue to live, farm, speak their languages, and practice traditions. Urban decline is not cultural extinction. The silence of abandoned cities contrasts with the ongoing presence of communities who carry heritage forward. The civilization's transformation reflects adaptation rather than disappearance. revealing continuity beneath change. Archaeologists uncover clues to this transition. In a shaded excavation pit, a researcher brushes soil from a broken pot, revealing intricate designs. Layers of sediment indicate cycles of occupation, abandonment, and resettlement. Soil samples suggest drought periods, while charcoal hints at shifting land use. Each discovery adds nuance. The decline results from multiple factors: environmental stress, political fragmentation, conflict, and migration. No single cause defines it. Evidence paints a picture of adaptation and struggle, emphasizing the resilience and agency of people navigating uncertain conditions over time. Modern technology reveals hidden complexity. LiDAR scans from aircraft penetrate forest canopies, exposing networks of causeways, reservoirs, and structures unseen from the ground. In a research lab, a scientist traces glowing lines on a digital map, surprised by the scale. These discoveries show that Maya cities were more extensive and interconnected than previously believed. The new data challenges earlier assumptions, highlighting sophisticated urban planning. Understanding deepens, reframing the narrative not as a simple rise and fall, but as a dynamic civilization marked by innovation and adaptation over centuries. The Maya story continues into the post-classic era. New centers such as Mayapan emerge, maintaining traditions while incorporating fresh influences. In bustling plazas, merchants exchange goods beneath vibrant murals. Music and conversation fill the air. Life remains lively in these regions, demonstrating continuity. Eventually, Spanish contact in the 16th century introduces new pressures, reshaping the landscape. Yet throughout these changes, Maya identity persists. The civilization evolves rather than disappears, reflecting a long, intricate journey shaped by challenge, adaptation, and enduring cultural strength. Today, Maya communities thrive across Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. In a modern village, women weave colorful textiles on backstrap looms, fingers moving with practiced grace. Children play near adobe homes. Elders speak Maya languages, preserving linguistic heritage. Traditions endure through festivals, agriculture, and spiritual practices. The connection to ancestors remains strong. The legacy of ancient cities lives through people, not just ruins. The Maya are a living culture, carrying forward knowledge shaped by centuries of adaptation. Their presence challenges outdated notions of disappearance, highlighting cultural continuity and resilience. Archaeological sites serve as reminders of past grandeur. Visitors climb steep pyramid steps, pausing to admire panoramic views. Guides recount stories of rulers, rituals, and astronomical alignments. Sunlight illuminates carvings that have survived centuries of weather. These sites inspire awe, drawing people into dialogue with history. Yet the ruins also prompt reflection on impermanence. Stone structures, once central to daily life, now offer windows into a distant era. Their enduring presence bridges past and present, allowing modern observers to contemplate the civilization's long-lasting influence and remarkable achievements. Researchers investigate the causes of decline using scientific methods. Climate data from cave formations reveals patterns of prolonged drought. Pollen samples show shifts in vegetation linked to deforestation and agriculture. In a laboratory, A scientist examines slides under a microscope, adjusting focus carefully. Evidence supports a multifaceted narrative, environmental change interacting with human decisions. The complexity underscores that societies are shaped by both nature and choice. The Maya experience becomes a lens through which to understand broader patterns of resilience and vulnerability, offering insights relevant to contemporary challenges. Cultural revival movements strengthen identity. In a community center, young people learn ancient glyphs from skilled teachers. They practice writing names and phrases, bringing old scripts to life. Traditional music and dance accompany celebrations of heritage. These efforts foster pride and continuity, linking modern generations to ancestral knowledge. The past becomes a resource for empowerment, not just remembrance. The Maya legacy grows more visible, illustrating the enduring relevance of cultural roots in shaping contemporary life and reinforcing connections between history, language, and community. The narrative of disappearance evolves. Scholars emphasize transformation and continuity rather than extinction. In a lecture hall, a professor points to a map highlighting ongoing Maya communities. Students take notes, recognizing the distinction between urban decline and cultural persistence. This shift reframes understanding, acknowledging the resilience of indigenous peoples. It challenges simplistic stories and encourages nuanced perspectives. The Maya journey becomes a testament to adaptation and perseverance, showing that civilizations endure through people, traditions, and cultural memory rather than monuments alone. Tourism brings opportunities and challenges. In a bustling market near an archaeological site, artisans sell handmade crafts, jade necklaces, woven bags, carved masks. Visitors purchase souvenirs, supporting local economies. Yet increased tourism strains ruins and can disrupt traditional lifestyles. Balancing preservation with community needs requires thoughtful planning. The interaction between past and present becomes a living negotiation, reflecting the ongoing impact of ancient heritage on modern society. Decisions about conservation shape how history is experienced and sustained for future generations. Environmental conservation grows vital. In protected reserves, biologists study ecosystems surrounding ancient sites. They monitor biodiversity, water quality, and forest health. A researcher stands beside a clear stream, recording observations as dragonflies hover. Preserving natural landscapes maintains the context of archaeological remains and supports sustainable tourism. The work highlights the interconnectedness of cultural and ecological preservation, reminding us that human history is deeply tied to environmental health. Protecting forests safeguards both heritage and habitat. The Maya story resonates globally. Scholars, artists, and visitors draw inspiration from achievements in architecture, astronomy, and writing. Books, films, and exhibits share knowledge with diverse audiences. In a quiet museum gallery, a child gazes at a jade figurine, imagining the world it once belonged to. Curiosity sparked by Maya history fosters learning and appreciation. The civilization's legacy extends beyond regional boundaries, contributing to a broader understanding of human creativity, resilience, and the capacity to adapt across time. The concept of disappearance invites reflection. Standing before a silent ruin, you feel the weight of time. Absence emphasizes the fragility of human endeavors. Yet stone structures endure, shaped by skill and intention. Quiet spaces once filled with bustling life encourage contemplation. Disappearance becomes a metaphor for change rather than erasure. The civilization's influence remains embedded in language, art, and cultural memory. The silence prompts questions about forces shaping societies and how they respond to adversity. The ruins become reminders of both impermanence and continuity. Multiple factors contributed to decline. Drought reduced water and food supplies. Conflict strained political structures. Population pressures and environmental degradation intensified vulnerabilities. Migration redistributed communities. No single cause explains the process. In a research library, a scholar reviews data, arranging notes into a cohesive narrative. The complexity mirrors interconnectedness of the Maya world. Understanding decline requires acknowledging interplay between natural and human elements. The lesson underscores importance of adaptive strategies, resource management, and collaboration in the face of shifting conditions and uncertainty. The Maya experience offers lessons for modern societies. Resource management, environmental stewardship, and social cohesion remain critical challenges. In a classroom, students discuss parallels between ancient and contemporary issues: climate change, conflict, sustainability. The conversation highlights enduring themes. Civilizations thrive when they balance growth with responsibility. The Maya story becomes a mirror, reflecting possibilities and risks. Learning from the past can guide decisions, fostering resilience in a world still shaped by uncertainty and complex interdependence. The resilience of Maya people stands out. Despite urban decline, cultural identity persists. In a festival, dancers in traditional attire move to rhythmic drums, celebrating heritage. Families gather to share food and stories. Languages once inscribed on stone continue to be spoken. Continuity affirms that civilizations are not defined solely by cities or monuments. The essence of culture lives in people, traditions, and beliefs. The Maya exemplify endurance, carrying forward a legacy through generations, demonstrating strength amid change. Archaeological discoveries continue reshaping understanding. New sites emerge from beneath dense forest cover. In jungle terrain, explorers uncover a hidden staircase, steps covered in moss. Each find adds to the mosaic of Maya history, revealing previously unknown aspects of settlement, trade, and ritual. Accumulated evidence deepens appreciation for complexity. The narrative evolves with each insight. The past remains dynamic, expanding knowledge and refining perspectives, demonstrating that history is an ongoing process of discovery rather than fixed conclusion. Global collaboration enhances research. Teams of archaeologists, linguists, and scientists from different countries share findings and methods. In a conference hall, experts present data on climate patterns, settlement distribution, and cultural practices. The exchange fosters holistic perspectives. The Maya story becomes a collective endeavor, transcending borders and disciplines. Collaboration enriches understanding, emphasizing that history of one civilization contributes to broader tapestry of human experience. Shared knowledge strengthens interpretation and connection across cultures. Educational initiatives spread awareness. Schools incorporate Maya history into curricula. Museums host interactive exhibits. Documentaries explore achievements and challenges. In a media studio, A filmmaker reviews footage of ancient sites, adjusting sound levels for immersive effect. These efforts bring the Maya story to wider audiences, encouraging curiosity and respect. Dissemination of knowledge ensures legacy remains accessible and relevant, inspiring future generations to learn from past and consider long-term impact of human choices. Reflection returns to the silent ruins. Standing atop a pyramid, you overlook a forest stretching toward the horizon. Wind brushes against stone, carrying faint echoes of a world long changed. Quiet invites connection across time, space, and culture. The story of the Maya is not disappearance, but transformation and continuity. The ruins serve as reminders of human potential and vulnerability. The journey through history reveals enduring influence of a civilization that continues shaping present through memory, identity, and cultural resilience. As daylight fades, landscape softens. Forest canopy darkens and stars emerge above. You take a slow breath, feeling stillness settle. Silent ruins become silhouettes against evening sky. Journey through the Maya world lingers, its achievements, challenges, and resilience. Quiet encourages rest, grounding you in present moment. Past gently recedes, leaving calm reflection. The weight of history eases, making space for peace. The night becomes a gentle backdrop for contemplation and release, guiding thoughts toward tranquility. You return to your own surroundings, carrying echoes of ancient cities and living traditions. Night around you feels peaceful and steady. The story of the Maya becomes part of a larger human tapestry, a reminder of change, endurance, and renewal. Let thoughts drift, easing into rest. World grows quieter, like distant plazas settling into silence. The night is yours now, calm and unbroken. The journey ends in stillness, inviting sleep and gentle reflection as history fades into quiet, soothing darkness.